Since I was talking about my daughter last week, I thought that I would continue that theme this week and tell you about my pregnancy. We had only been married for 3 months and never planned to have a baby so quickly. In fact, we were going to wait 2 years to get accustomed to being married while we investigated the risks associated with having Crohn's disease and being pregnant. The year of our wedding, I was really adamant about getting off the steroids and not being fat-faced for my wedding day. I had been recovering from a flare when he proposed, and when he told me he wanted to get married in 6 months, the only thing I could think of was, how will I ever get low enough on the prednisone to look normal for my wedding? But I did it. I managed to get down to 5 milligrams and was able to look like myself. After the wedding, I continued to get lower dosages of prednisone and got all the way to 2.5 milligrams. I was in remission and feeling good. I was surprised that I got pregnant so easily. I thought that I would be more infertile since I had been on prednisone and Imuran for a long time already. I had not started birth control yet because I already had so many problems with hormones with the prednisone and was worried about adding more hormones from the birth control. We used the Catholic method, which is probably why we got pregnant so quickly, just joking. I'm worried about the pregnancy because I didn't know that I was pregnant until she was 6 weeks old and I had been taking all of my regular medications, prednisone, Imuran, Nasacort, until then. I was also taking a little bit, like a fourth, of a sleeping pill, and luckily was weaning off of it. So, I worried about hurting the baby since the first 6 weeks are supposed to be the most important for the baby's cell growth. Despite all of this, she came out just perfect. Of course, I had to stop Imuran, azathioprine, Nasacort, triamcinolone acetate, and the sleeping pills, but I continued to take the prednisone at a lower dose. Prednisone does not cross the placenta, so it wasn't that big of a problem. I have never felt better in my whole life. The pregnancy was perfect. My Crohn's went into remission and I didn't need that much medicine. I made sure I exercised and ate really healthy so I could stay in remission and be healthy for our baby. The mother's immune system will naturally lower itself so that it does not reject the fetus growing inside it. Apparently, the more foreign the baby's DNA is to the mother's, the lower the mother's immune system drops. Since I was feeling so great, I figured that the baby would have a lot of my husband's qualities. And she does look just like him, luckily. He has really great tan skin, unlike my pasty translucent white. My OBGYN loved me because I never complained and was always so happy. Any small amount of discomfort was nothing compared to the problems caused by my Crohn's. I was happy as a lark to be in remission and to feel so good. I mean, of course I did have some discomfort as she grew, but still, it wasn't all that bad and was way more manageable than my Crohn's disease. I have read that if you get pregnant while you are in remission, you will have the highest chances of having a good pregnancy. But a lot of patients flare when the baby is around 2 to 3 months old due to the changes in hormones. Your body is going back to pre-pregnancy state. So, the healthier you are when you conceive, the better. I have also understood that, if your disease is active when you conceive, you will likely flare during the pregnancy, and if you conceive when you are healthy, you may make it all the way with no problems and flare during postpartum, like me, or you may not flare at all. I started to flare about a month after she was born. I was determined to breastfeed for 3 months and only made that marker by pumping like crazy before I had to start back on all of my medications. I ended up going into the hospital for a little over a week, over the 2000 New Year's holiday. It was a really difficult time because I was still working and had a baby who was hungry all of the time, every 1.5 to 2 hours, and a husband who was getting his master's degree. I was also getting certified to be a flight controller, so I was pretty busy. Looking back, I am not sure how I managed it all, and it makes me appreciate that I had my daughter young because I can't imagine doing all that now. That was also during a time when I still hadn't accepted my Crohn's disease and would fight it every step of the way. I still fight it, but I think I flow with it a little more now. God gave me the best present of my life when He gave me my daughter. That was the perfect time for me to get pregnant, health-wise, and I have not had another slot available since then due to active disease or medications, such as methotrexate, where they tell you that you cannot get pregnant and to use 2 birth control methods. God knew that I would not have another chance, so He gave us a daughter when He knew the time was right. And I am so very thankful because she is the best thing that has ever happened to me and she brings such joy. She is my little stress reliever because when I come home from work I focus my attention on her until she goes to bed since I have missed out on her throughout the day. It is nice to have a distraction from work and from myself.